Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June 21st. Hey, we're going to be out there talking to Tom, Lee, Gentry, and Tracy, going to be figuring out what's going on their bodies of water that they report on. Hopefully, they can help you put a few fish in the boat with that information. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Hey, we got Tom out here. We're going to talk a little bit about Guntersville fishing. And I know I said that very, very properly. Guntersville. Tom, what's going on up there at Guntersville?
Well, I don't guess we speak as proper as you might, Dano, but the fishing has been, I mean, golly, it's just been incredible. The lake is just unbelievably strong and healthy right now. I mean, I'm still seeing, we had fish in the live well. We saw some big old brim in there. We saw some big threadfin shad in there, just regurgitated, and a lot of crawdads, which was interesting to me. But, it's been just a really super start to the year. I'm hoping summer shows up sometime, but the way the fishing's been, I don't think it would bother too many people. The shallow bite's just incredible. You can get up there and really you can catch them on buzz baits, frogs. If you can get some open areas, something like a pop-R or spook is really just killing the fish. As the day as it progresses a little bit, a swim bait's been really hot, and most of this stuff has been over grass, in the grass. So I've not been out there on the ledges playing around too much. Everything's kind of been taking place. Back up in the coves and the areas where the shad and the brim are still, they're just up there, and the bass are up there just gorging. But it's just incredible how healthy these fish are. I mean, we fished Saturday, and I think we caught somewhere around 65 fish, which is a lot of doubles, a lot of fun.
That's fun. So are they all healthy fish? I mean, I know you got the 15-inch size limit up there, but are you saying all keepers or just fish?
Just fish. I mean, we caught very few keepers, maybe a couple of slicks out of that, but the majority of the fish are in the 2 to 4 pound range. We had 23 pounds, so in our 5 best, and we only had one 5 pounder. So that kind of gives you an idea where, the size that we're catching, but they're just very healthy, fat. It's unbelievable. I mean, the fishing is as good as I've seen it for quite a few years. The rain hasn't seemed to deter the fishing at all. The water was up a little bit high. It's got a little stain to it, but not enough to really bother the fish, I don't think. They're just going bonkers right now. And I think that's probably going to slow. When we get some heat, it'll slow. And they'll get back out there on the ledges, and you'll have to do a little bit of hunting. But right now, it's pretty much just go out there, start slinging, and catch fish. I mean, it's not quite that easy, but you get my point.
Right.
And the crappie are staying out there in that 15 foot of water, 15, 20 foot of water, around stumps. So you can still get out there and catch quite a few crappie if you're looking for them.
Tom, as always, brother, we appreciate everything, and we will talk to you again next week, my friend. Hey, we got Tracy Robinson here. He's going to talk to us a little bit about Logan Martin and Lay Lake fishing. Tracy, what's going on the lakes in the Middle Coosa River?
All right, we'll start with Logan Martin there. Logan Martin, part of the Coosa River, they're always on the bank on the Coosa River, so you can get bit pretty good on the bank at Logan right now. We've had plenty of rain, obviously, so you can kind of pick your poison there. You can get up there and chase the spots, or you can go after the largemouth. As far as the largemouth go, there's still a lot of fish up shallow. We're just coming off of a big willow fly hatch last 2 weeks, and a lot of fish moved up shallow, and it seems to be still a few up there. Some of those seawalls where I'm usually catching, all spotted bass, which is super fun on that top water. I'm actually getting a few mixed in largemouth on those walls right now. As these temperatures this week kind of creep into those 90 plus, like we got forecasted over the next week, probably going to see a little bit more of those largemouth getting under the docks, being able to throw your jigs and different plastics under the docks there in the shade. And then if you want to chase them out a little deeper, that ledge bite, Logan Martin's not super known for its largemouth ledges, but there's ledges there that you can get bit on. right now if you choose to go that route. The 12 to 15 foot running crankbaits or your jigs out there on some of those ledges, you can catch those. The spotted bass seem to love those seawalls, getting a lot of bites on the top water in the morning around those seawalls still, which is super fun. And then you kind of jump out into those eddies and current breaks with your plastics and jigs, and catching spots later in the day, around some of those currents and eddy breaks. Not seeing much crappie action going on right now on
No.
Logan Martin down there. I think that's kind of played out. The brim bite was really good for a week or two there with the willow fly hatch, and that's probably playing out a little bit as well.
What about Lay Lake? What are we seeing over there?
Lay's still fishing good, both day and night. The daytime tournament's 18 to 20 pounds, and then you turn around the night tournament 15 to 18 pounds. So they're catching them pretty good around the clock there at Lay. The grass bite is always is a player at Lay. Swim jigs, frogs, punching. The grass has got a little thick in a few places. You can take your 3/4 ounce weight, 1 ounce weights, and get into some of those thicker grass mats right now and get bit. That bite's a little bit slower, but some of the more quality fish are buried up in some of that thicker grass, so that's producing a little bit more of a quality bite. The offshore bite's pretty good right now with the largemouth too. There's a lot of standing timber there. Your spinner baits, swim baits, and even throwing the minnows in those trees, plucking those fish out of the trees is a player as well. So those are the key things that I've seen at Logan and Lay the past week.
Brother, we appreciate everything and all that you do for Bucks Island. Go out there and win yourself more tournaments because that's what we love watching you do. Hey, we got our good friend Lee Pitts joining us right here, right now, talking about fishing on Neely Henry and Weiss Lake. Let's go ahead and start at Neely Henry again. What's happening on that river?
It's kind of about the same scenario as what we had last week. Neely's fishing pretty good. We're not seeing some of the big stringers like we are on the Guntersville and some of these other lakes, but still, you can catch a good bag of fish there and do it in multiple ways. It's still a good topwater bite in the morning. Neely's got some good grass beds right now. There seem to be, once the sun gets up, you got to kind of get in there tight with some of those the thicker beds, and the punching baits are good. You can pitch a jig, flip some kind of plastics in there, and still got a pretty good frog bite going on right now. Uh, of course, if you want to kind of stay out of the grass and try to hit some of these, the docks and things like that, once that sun gets up, the dock bite's pretty good. I know a lot of the guys, they've been flipping like a little brush hog or a speed crawl or something like that, kind of downsizing a little. And just trying to find some of that cover and some of the thicker brush under the docks has been good. Also, you can get out there on that main lake, throw a shaky head, throw a Carolina rig, and catch some of these spots off some of the harder points.
Is there a brim bite going on? Any other species that are really active on Neely Henry?
Just like Weiss and Neely right now, we've had a pretty good mayfly hatch again this week, about midweek. The brim are up there tight. You can catch some. We just don't have the size, let's say, that Guntersville has and some of the lakes on further south have. But still, you can go out and have a good time with them. I mean, you can catch some brim, but as far as those big bluegill and shellcracker, just not seeing them. Just seeing some hand-sized brim. Something, if you got some kids with, you can go have a good time and catch them.
All right, let's go to Weiss. What's going on there?
It's fishing pretty good right now too. We've had some not really weather issues. We just had a lot of hit and miss showers, had some hard winds with them. So looking and trying to find some of the cleaner water, with some of these storms coming up midday, it's had some wind in it. It's kind of stained up some of these pockets, but the fish are really relating to this fresh water coming in. And once again, I said we've had 2 or 3 good mayfly hatches this week. So the bass are up there feeding on the brim that's feeding on the mayflies. So it all goes hand in hand with that. But you can cover some of the seawalls are really picking up right now with the water temperature getting hotter. These fish are getting up there. If you got some rock or some trash around some seawalls, they like to lay up against it. And of course, with the mayflies there, it's bringing the brim right in there tight too. So it's really, you can do a lot of multiple things right now. Spinnerbait bite's been good. Early morning buzz bait, things like that. And then just when that sun gets up high, get on these docks and go to looking for brush and just go to beating on the dock poles.
Brother, we appreciate everything as always, and we'll talk to you again. Hey, we got Gentry Gordy going to join us here. Talk about Lake Martin and Jordan Lake. Gentry, let's go ahead and start at Jordan. I know there's some current probably running through that river system right now with all the rains we've had. What's happening there?
Yeah, Dano, with that, even though we're getting into these hot days, I still spend a good bit of time up there in the grass, throwing a frog, throwing a swim jig, pitching the docks. But even with the current, it's not, I mean, it's moving, but it's not awful. So, I'm starting to transition a little bit more or concentrate a little more time with my mid-depth crankbaits, my bigger crankbaits, some of those points that Jordan's known for, running off of those, the mouths of the creeks and stuff in that 10 to 15 foot range.
Are you catching a lot of numbers, or are you just looking for onesie twosie good fish?
Well, it's one or the other. You know what I mean? You can get on a good school of spots, if you can find that trash pile sitting in the right depth. They'll kind of group up right there, especially if you can find some bait around it. And other times you go up there and you catch one or two good ones off of it, then you can't buy a bite, and you just got to keep moving on. But I always try to circle back around later in the day.
I got you. Are you seeing brim up there? Has there been a mayfly hatch? What's going on?
Not that I have seen. I've seen some remnants of it, the floating mayflies on the water, but for some reason, I don't know if it's just the day I went up there, I just didn't see them. But, still keep that popper on us throughout the day.
Right. Okay, let's go to Lake Martin. What's going on there? I'm sure seawalls are there, brush piles, all that kind of stuff, correct?
Yeah, not much has changed. If you can find some bait, but the bait's kind of small. But they're tiny, they're little bitty spotted bass that are laying on those right now. I mean, they're fun, but tournament wise, it's not going to do you any good. But just, we talked a lot the last few weeks about those shallow rock points, and they're still there, but they're getting a little bit deeper. They're starting to slide off into a little bit deeper water as this warmer heats up. I still throw, this is the time I start throwing the big worm at Martin. A drop shot and a shaky head and all that still work. But it seems like every now and then an old monster or something or a mag 2 will get a bigger bite.
Gotcha. Night fishing over there, still looking for the lights? Is that stuff going on?
Yep, absolutely. Still the green lights. I've seen some crappie around it. But it's still my better fish is either going to hit a glide bait when you first pull up or just drag a black and blue jig off the, where the light starts to fade out.
Brother, we appreciate everything. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you again next week. Well, that'll wrap up our Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, June 21st. Hey, we hope you are having a great early summer. We know things are kind of up and down with the weather, a little bit hot, a little bit of rain, but you know what? That tends to make fishing pretty good. We hope you get out there and you have a great day, a great weekend with the family, and we'll talk to you again next week.